I bring it to its melting temperature. The solder melts, it's a liquid. This seam is tight. Where's it going to draw all that solder? Between the two tight panes of material. The second step in this experiment, by the way, is Mr. Wizard took out 4 dimes, and he put the dimes into the corners between those two panes. There was a really slight space, and he resubmerged it in the water and nothing. Because it requires that tight, those two tight surfaces to draw the material. So, your joint has to be tight. So if you've got a joint that looks like this, it's gapped, the solder may attach here, and it may attach here where it's touching, but you can keep flooding it in. Like that plumber when he was putting your pipes together, kept flooding it in. That type of solder, you can flood it, it'll fill gaps. This solder will not. It will only go where it's drawn by capillary action. So you have to make sure your joint is absolutely tight. So, just for conversation purposes, we're going to say our solder flows at 1400 degrees. It flows slightly below that, and as many of you know, because you've got 2 packets of solder, each one has a different designation on the point. You folks know that there are, for some reason, different solders. Those designations refer to the melting temperature of solder, so there's some variation between the different solders in terms of their melting temperature. So I want you to imagine that I melt the solder, for conversation purposes, 1400 degrees at a frying pan. Okay, so I've converted your solid solder into a liquid. And then I pour the solder right on to that perfectly clean, tight joint. How many of you think I'll get a good, strong solder joint? Because I've met those 2 conditions, clean and tight. How many of you think I'll get a strong? Obviously, no one does. I'm a master crafts. You don't think I'll get a solid, good, strong joint? Actually, if I let that solder cool to room temperature, I can reach in, pick that solder up, and I can toss it in the trash can. Because we don't heat the solder to the solder's melting temperature. We have to heat the area of the metal to be soldered to the melting temperature of the solder. So again, the 1400 conversation purposes, I have to get this area of the metal to 1400 degrees, this area of the metal to 1400 degrees, and then the solder will follow, obviously, and it'll be drawn into that joint, and it'll be a nice tight seal. And that's not so hard, except that you have to hit 1400 degrees on both pieces at exactly the same time. Because this solder goes where the heat is. I could take an ounce of solder, if this wall was copper, I could melt it to the wall at the bottom. Cause the wall to reach 1400 degrees with a torch, that metal would jump to that wall. I can carry that metal all the way up to the ceiling, but just by continuing to heat the wall upward, and the solder will follow it. So it goes where the heat is. So if one of those pieces is 1400 before the other, all of your solder is going to jump onto the one piece, make a big mess, and there's nothing you can do to draw it back down. You can't heat the bottom until it catches up at that point and hope that it will jump back down, because it will not. It sounded like Queen. Another one bites the duck. So, then obviously it does not seem like too difficult a challenge. Heating the metals so that they rise to 1400 degrees simultaneously at exactly the same time. Let me show you our heating source. So maybe we can figure this thing out. That's what your flame looks like. You'll learn all about